I don't know if the noise suppression changes anything.
It would definitely change things.
Was really hoping Zilfer would come, but he has a lot of work, I'm assuming.
He has a lot of World of Warcraft. I need one more link, and I think it's yours, Hayes.
I could just say it because it's actually pretty simple to say.
I got it.
It's got an
Actually,
X
I
in it.
scrolled up.
Anything with an X and a Z in it isn't that easy. Bro. Okay. Switching.
He finally got the freaking bubble system implemented. It was freaking long, man. But the Orex tokens are reality now.
Let's go. All right. So, at the moment, the way I would do it is I start from left to right. So, I'll answer the questions lastly. I'll start off with Azzy, then I'll go to Plan, then Haze, then World Eater. We have about 21 questions. Hopefully, everyone's read the rules. Just try and keep it PG. One person chatting at a time. You can use your video if you want to. If not, that's totally fine. If you
I'm
anyone
gonna
here
stream
has
the
a
Google Doc so everyone can read it.
if anyone has an NDA, you can feel free to pass on certain questions. Feel free to do certain streams, and if you want to chat to your stream chat, just mute yourself on Discord so uh, everyone doesn't have to hear multiple things going.
By the way, you spelled Bit Heroes podcast wrong.
You want to slap?
You said it's Bit Heroes.
There's nothing in the rules
Podcast.
about me slapping you. A nice gentle caress of the cheek. Okay. So
It isn't gonna be gentle until
now. So the first question is, how did you become aware of Bit Heroes? We'll start with Azzy.
Shit, man, I've been playing Bait Heroes since it came out, dude. Yeah, man, I played. I just discovered it on the mobile store on my phone, fucking like so long ago now. You know what I mean? I played it in like 2016, and then I stopped for a few years, and then I came back like a couple years ago.
Sweet. And Plan, what about yourself?
My favorite. I think I found Beat Heroes through one of my favorite website, Congregate. So I just found it on the front page and I decided to play it.
Awesome. And Hayes, what about yourself?
I found it just out of random in an ad one day, and I was like, okay.
And World Eater.
Yeah, the way I found the game was I was super into this dungeon crawly kind of game called Pixel, or what's it, Pixel Dungeon? Pixel Dungeon.
I know.
And there was like all these types of pixel dungeons that I'm not sure if the developer or fans would make. And I would just look for different ones. At the time I was on Android, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of versions. And then I saw this game on the recommended while I was searching through them called Bit Heroes. So I looked through it and I saw the artwork and I'm like, this looks pretty interesting. Maybe it's similar. I'll try it. And ever since I tried it, I've been hooked. It's honestly my favorite game. And yeah, that's how I got here.
Awesome. And for myself, I learned about the game from a few old friends of mine. We used to play Bit Heroes quite a lot. At the moment, they don't play, but I've seen a few OGs have came back to the game, so I'm happy about that. So I get to say hi to them. That's quite nice. But yeah, that's how I found out about the game. Started playing, so I've been on the game for a few years now. So, second question: what's your
Yep.
favorite?
Took winning to come, by the way.
What's your favorite memory of Bit Heroes and why? Who the?
It's a difficult one, my guy. I think coming back to Bit Heroes for me personally, coming back to Bit Heroes has been really big for me because I was playing the game in the background of my streams an awful lot. I've been streaming a lot longer than I've been playing Bit Heroes. One day somebody just suggested I stream the game, and ever since I've been doing that, I've gotten to meet like so many like great people who are part of the community. I think the number one dude I'm going to shout out right here is Zilfer. I think Zilfer is probably my favorite memory of this game, if that makes any sense. Like my guy has supported me since day one. He's given me the drive to keep playing. You know what I mean? Like he's a massive person in the community that likes to focus on the community specifically, and I think that's aligns with my kind of moral compass and the way I like to enjoy the game. So the community and the memories that I share with people like Zilfer is probably the best part of the game for me.
Awesome. And what about yourself, Plan?
Ooh, okay, this is a good question. So I think my favorite memory of Bit Heroes is probably getting invited into the Trailer Park Guild. It was an old guild, but I think it got dismembered. So what happened was I was level 200 and I decided to quit the game. I just decided to take some time off and do some other stuff. So when I came back, I was just joining random guilds that nobody was in it anyway. I was just farming and leveling up. And then I got an invite from a friend. He invited me to the Trailer Park Guild and he was like, just come and join here. We'll have some fun. We even got to top 5 guilds at some point, and we had a lot of fun stuff in there. But then the guild finally disbanded and we all went our ways. And then I got invited by Doom. So now I am in Doom Guild. And
Awesome.
I think that was my favorite memory because I never thought I would get invited by such a big guild anyway when I was such a low level.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that. Awesome.
That guild was awesome, by the way. I
Yeah.
miss them. Real good comp.
And Hayes, what about yourself?
I'd have to say the very first guild I ever joined. I met a couple of really good friends that I used to have back in the day, and then kind of like Planis, I had to leave the game, and they ended up merging with a different guild, and I got to see a friend recently again, and he was from the guild a while ago, so there's that.
Sweet. And last but not least, World Eater, what about yourself?
Yeah. I guess my favorite memory was it's strange. I came back to the game, right? And I remember the guild I always wanted to be a part of was FTR for the longest time. FTR, FTR, FTR. I would always be like, damn, those guys are awesome. So they helped me pretty much learn the game when I was in a different guild and everything. And then when I came back, I pretty much was like, yeah, I'm ready to push to current tier, this and that. And they're like, we actually have a spot open in FTR if you're down. I'm like, oh, wow, yeah. So I joined FTR and a lovely group of folks. I was able to meet a bunch of other guys that were also coming back, like Rob. Rob was one of them. I can't remember some of the other guys' names. I know Zip was coming back heavily into it again, and we were pretty much just playing all at the same time, coming back again. And I remember that Blurry was telling me, "Man, you guys are bringing life into this game for me again. You guys are like showing me how fun it is to work as a team." We pretty much went from like a very quietish guild in there, like to like playing World Boss all the time and doing things, and I guess just helping out some of the guys in World Chat 2 mainly. So it was really nice to come back to the game in a very positive atmosphere with the people I always wanted to play with, helping others and growing. And we ended up making the alliance that we had a lot stronger at the time. And we were getting a bunch of newer players, more knowledge and everything. And it was just a good time. We were just pretty much, I guess, growing together. It was awesome. That was probably my favorite memory coming back, going
Awesome.
to the guild I always wanted to go to.
That's pretty cool. For
Really have the
myself,
dock open, by the way, family Orax,
what was that? Sorry, Hayes.
for once. I finally have the dock open, so if you want me to ask questions eventually, I can.
Okay.
For the interruption.
And for myself, what was a favorite memory of Bit Heroes and why? I'd have to say there's mainly two, but I'll go with the most recent one. It would be joining TSCX. So Zilfer's main guild. Joined that because for a long time, wasn't playing the game just because of real life things got in the way. I was just really busy, Managed to get back into the game and chat to a few OG members and started speaking to Silver. He was lovely and got me back into the game, got me connected with a whole bunch of people, uh, made a lot of friends. Uh, just now, I'm able to chat to most of the people here if it wasn't for like Zilfer and such like that. So, big shout out to him. Also, just enjoy watching streaming community as well. Definitely his favorite times. On Bit Heroes to flourish, and for more podcasts to come later on. So, question 3: what's your biggest failure, and what did you learn from that experience? I'll start off with Azzy.
Biggest failure in Bait Heroes specifically. um, well, one very quick piece of advice that I would give to people is to like know what it is that you're planning to do and stick to it. My biggest failures in the game have been anytime I take a break from the, because it's good to take a break from the game sometimes, right? Everybody needs to take a break sometimes. That's fine, right? But I have this really bad habit of taking the break from a game, like just kind of unannounced, be away for a period of time, and then when I come back, I just start doing stuff, and I totally forget what it was I was working on before. And I took a little break from the game a while ago. Like I literally was off for like a couple months, which is the longest I've been away from the game for a while. And I think the biggest mistake I made was I was really on top of everything before I took that break. Then I went away and I just didn't think about it. And when I came back, I had no idea what I was doing before I left. And I literally spent so much time, so many consumables, like I just started blasting through all of my shit, you know what I mean? Just so that I would have like some content, something to do. It wasn't until a couple of weeks of getting back into the game that I suddenly started to remember I had this going on, I had this going on, I had this going on. I think the biggest mistake I've ever made in Bit Heroes is probably just when I took the largest break that I took and I came back, I did a bunch of stuff, just a bunch of random stuff. I wasted time, I wasted consumables, I wasted so much stuff. You know what I mean? Especially with Starweave. In fact, I think the easiest answer would be the biggest mistake I've ever made was when I had the ancient material that I needed to make Starweave already, and in my head, I thought it was the T10 D4 dungeon that I needed to beat. So I literally spent like a month or two grinding out a dungeon to get a Starweave ancient material that I already had, and I still don't have my Starweave. I could have been working on it ages ago. So I think maybe just figuring out a good way to spend your time, trying to keep everything in your head at the same time, and just like dedicating yourself to specific grinds is probably the best way to go. My biggest mistake is like taking time away from the game, coming back, and then just undoing all of the groundwork that I've laid out for myself.
That's definitely savage.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Plan?
All right. So this might be a little bit controversial, but I think my biggest mistake was trying to build damage reduction. So it was tier so it was tier 10 and I was building full damage reduction. I had full set and everything. And tier 11 came out, so I up tiered it a little bit and I was like full damage reduction and full tank. So I was like, I'm going to tier 12 and I'm going to build full tank as well. But then tier 12 came out and damage reduction was literally dead. And and I had spent so much time building that damage reduction tank. I was so demotivated. I literally sold all my stuff and quit the game.
Mm.
That was the first time I took some time off from the game. So I think that was my biggest failure, that I didn't cope with the system well enough, cope with the change well enough. But I came back, so here I am.
I feel that. And Hayes, what about yourself?
Hey. So it's pretty stupid. I pranks one day. I had a buddy that I was talking to about the best sets, and well, what had happened is he recommended me Supe. Yeah, I was not aware at the time. That was disgusting. So I was like, okay, why not? And then I ended up like spending over 10 million gold. I think it was 10 million gold thousand legendary resources and etc. to get a build on it just to get the dude to tell me that he was kidding.
Average.
And I had to end up like spending another 3 months getting more stuff just to get a good set.
Try my best not to
Yeah, that
laugh.
sucks,
That's
dude.
so savage.
True.
And what about yourself, World Leader?
Okay. Well, I have quite a bit of failures in this game, but I think my biggest one was scrapping Dracus. Um, I made him just for the cosmetic, and I scrapped him. And I know it's not like the biggest fail, but now I'm like, you know what? I scrapped him just so I can have some more Mount Guts for Gembu, and now I don't use Gembu.
Oh.
So guess what I did? I scrapped Gembu. I scrapped Gembu because he's just been sitting there. I have Sherms maxed, and now I have Dracus again at like +4 or +5. And it's like, man, I just wasted so many guts, so many fleece, so much time and farming. And it may not sound like a really big fail to y'all, but think about how expensive a mythic mount is to
Yeah.
max out. It's been the biggest headache I've had. You know,
Feel that.
it's huge headache, really huge. And another, I guess this is a bonus mistake. I'm sorry. Um, I am very stubborn, and I don't recommend anyone do this. I roll everything. You know, if you like rolling, that's great. I've gotten really good rolls, but accessories, I refuse to hardcraft, and I've gotten, I think, up to date 11 trophies and I think 6 Misty Shrouds.
Uh,
At least you didn't
Yeah,
get savaged. At least you didn't get savaged like me.
I want
But
Savage. Believe it or not, I actually want Savage. I've never
this is
gotten
why
it.
we
Thanks for
it's
hardcraft.
the follow,
completely
Hardcraft.
Cage.
useless. Savage is completely useless. It's only for the cosmetic.
Yeah, he's okay. He has his use, but it's not as good as an average like offensive pet. Obviously, you'd have to build a whole build around him, which is not ideal. So I just want him just because I have everything else I need. I have Druffo, Kolg. I just need Zordig and Savage now. But anyways, yeah,
Savage,
that was my mistakes.
Savage is only good for the cosmetic and nothing else.
There you go.
I nearly quit when I got Savage as well. I nearly quit when I got Savage.
I did quit when I got my 6. I had 6 trophies in a row and I quit. That's why I quit in tier 12.
Yeah, this is why hardcrafting is super important. Like for me, it's only been like I roll mythic runes or whatever. That's the only thing I random roll, and I've had like 12 gold find runes in a row. Like I've never had anything other than a gold find rune mythic. So hardcrafting is like really important. The game will screw you over if it gets the chance.
And just a wee quick thing there. Uh, if you want, Chuck, I've found that you're on Discord now and you're able to join the call if you're up for it. As well as now, for my biggest failure, I have multiple. Like I've been getting
I
slated.
noticed.
I've been getting slated mad by Haste. A few people have been slating me for
Tier
it.
13.
So we're gonna start going for Behemoth. I don't like this.
Behemoth's alright.
Going for Featherfall.
Ew, what?
I got all of Featherfall, almost
Yeah,
maxed it,
exactly.
and I still couldn't pass that tier.
That's
That was probably
hilarious.
one of the worst
You
things.
wondered why.
Oh, so Featherfall's definitely up there. Also kind of similar to Azzy, where I forgot about the milestones. Like I completely forgot about. You need to look at your milestones to see for like the ancient stuff when you complete things, and obviously it would give you certain uh materials that you need to craft things. And I completely forgot about that for ages. And then I was like, oh wait, now I can craft Starweave when I was busy grinding for things. So yeah, Starweave is a pain to up tier, but it's an ancient grind, I suppose. It is what it is. Let's say another failure would be I had the smart idea of why not try and make Glarsdos have all block augments? So
Hey,
I have 4 legendary block augments on him. So I completely got rid of his damage reductions
what
one.
the fuck?
Very
And
smart,
then
buddy.
I tried as well. I tried block on girls as well.
oh
Yeah, I did it when I first got them because it's all I had, and I took them off immediately.
and
I can
now
tell you one thing though: damage reduction on a block familiar is a lot better than block on a
On a
damage
damage
reduction.
reduction.
yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
ironic.
And the ironic part is the next D4 I'm trying to go and do, block is just useless. Like it's
Yeah,
like the
don't do
block
it.
is set to 0. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh come on,
So
my
failure.
my Glars are
Yeah.
just getting slapped immediately.
It's just slapped instantly. That
So
was my issue with the D4.
at the moment, I'm having to go back to damage reduction. So I'd say maybe that's my biggest downfall. So number 4. If you could be remembered for one thing in Bit Heroes, what would it be and why? Starting off with
The
Azzy.
free to play king, motherfucker! Mate, I've got over 2,000 hours logged in this game. The only time any money has ever gone into this account was when somebody donated to get me the mount on Halloween just a couple weeks ago there. Up until that point, no money has gone on this account. Over 2,000 hours logged, T14. Like, I put fucking effort into this, my dude. One day I'll be the end tier. I'll be an exceptionally low level, which is not it's a weird flex, you know. A lot of people like to be a high level. I like to be a low level, okay? So that's going to be my thing, you know? People will just be like, look, there's fucking Azzy. He spent fucking thousands of hours getting to end tier, like, free to play. Like, he just did the grind. Like, that's what I do. I do
Already
grinds.
picked that status. Wait, what?
Well, I'll join the club, eh? How about that?
And now on to plan.
Alright, so whenever somebody asks me to do World Boss, I go far and beyond to try to help them. Because I know how hard it was when I was lower levels to do World Boss, and how hard it was to find someone who can help you. So I go far and beyond to help whoever asks me to do World Boss. So if I like to be known as someone, I like to be known as someone who can help others, especially low levels, especially in World Boss.
Yeah, it's
So,
important to pay forward.
Yeah.
so yeah, that's it. That's what I want to be known for. Someone who can help you if you need it.
And Hayes, what about yourself?
Skip me really quick. I gotta do something.
Right, we could go on to World Leader at the moment, then we can go back to Hayes. So World
All
Leader.
right. I guess if there's anything I want to be known for, I guess it's just to be a teacher of sorts. I love teaching everyone on here things. I love showing them all the little tricks. Um, I guess I'd love to be known as a teacher more than anything.
I totally get that.
There's a lot of people like that. It's one of the things I love about this game is there's so many people that are focused on community and helping other people out. It's amazing.
I love it.
Well-
Like, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know that you can pop Zeals in World Boss still,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or change pets after you the victory screen.
True. There's for myself, I would just be trying to bring the community together, and I don't know. I didn't think of
Wait,
this question beforehand, really. Like I was like, I should probably like put more thought into this one for myself, answering it
Keep
well.
up
wait, you
with
can
these
change
missions.
pet
What?
from the victory screen. What? You can change pet from the victory screen. What? Since
You
when?
could change. You could change anything. You could change your full set. You can change everything except enchants and runes. I think.
I've been playing this game for like 5 years and I have never heard that before.
You're welcome.
That's the
You're
beauty.
welcome.
That's the idea.
But
I
I
think
knew
there's a
one
lot of
person in here
people.
wouldn't know it. Anyways, keep going. Sorry about that.
and what else is just also trying to find out wee things that some people may not notice. I do like that kind of idea where, for example, see with the new update, if you're doing like your runs and all that kind of stuff and you want to exit the dungeon, if you look at the animation coloring where it's the wee door and it's like red around it, and if you leave now, basically you haven't killed the boss. But see if you kill the boss and there's still trash mobs, it'll go green around the door. So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Welcome,
And
Yeah.
Chuck.
yo, Chuck.
So,
And I'll quickly ask Hayes, what's your uh if you could be remembered for one thing in Bit Heroes, what would it be?
Judging people on their cosmetics.
Okay, okay.
And
I've done that in Zilfer's stream. I've judged
He
Silvers.
did it to me.
OX has been judged. Chuck has been judged. Eater has been
Did you
judged.
see my? Did you
Yeah.
Even
see
in
mine?
his comments, he's been judged. Yes, you've been judged, Philanus. I've judged everyone. And I want to be here to judge the future generation of Bit Heroines. I want to be remembered as that one person that was just a douchebag for calling you terrible. Pretty much.
and if you'd like, Chuck, I can give you two options here. Would you prefer just do questions 1 to 4? Just focus on you just now, or would you want to start off with at number 5 with all of us?
I don't care either way.
All right.
Whatever you want.
Just I
Ask
may as well
number
do
five though.
I'll start with number 4, and these. I mean, I'll start off with number 1, and these questions would just be for Chuck at the moment until he catches up with us. So, number 1, how did you become aware of Bit Heroes, Chuck?
To be honest, I don't remember. It was very early on, so probably just in advertisements. Maybe word of mouth from a friend. I
Fair play. And question 2, what's your favorite memory of Bit Heroes and why?
beating the D4 at current tier for the first time.
That's pretty sick. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
What is your biggest failure, and what did you learn from that experience?
Mm.
For
So I
question
think it
3.
was T14. I haven't had the champion bundle yet for coming in first in PvP. So
Shoot.
I called out my week. I pushed. I put 410 packs into it, and Rekka Krovi pushed the last day and beat me in the last hour.
Oh.
Oh,
So I
Oh.
guess I learned that you just cross your fingers harder next time.
savaged. I bet you that a few people feel like that, especially for like the kind of PvP grinds, etc.
Listen, anytime I want to win an event as a free to play player, I feel like that.
And
I
question
usually just do. I usually just do 3 million in PvP for the mythic mats.
and question 4 for yourself, Chuck. If you could be remembered for one thing in Bit Heroes, what would it be?
Maybe one of the best DPS in the game.
You
So-
are, man.
That.
Sold.
Oh.
Honestly, yeah. You're already there.
Okay, now we're going at question 5. This is for everyone to answer, but we'll be starting off with Azzy. So question 5. Who was the first person you looked up to in game?
Zilfer.
I agree with that. And now on to Chuck. Who was the first person you looked up to in game?
I think it was like week 1 of me playing this game. I got a guy on my friends list named Lithris. And
Yes.
turns out he's the leader of K. So I just got real lucky, and he carried me all the way until, I started carrying others.
And now into plan.
So when I started playing the game, there was this level 100 guy with raid 2 weapon. There's a rainbow sword or something. It looked really cool. And he was my first friend, and he helped me a lot in raids and dungeons. So yeah, he's the guy I look up to, but he quit, I think. Never seen him before, so I can't even remember his name now. It's kind of sad, but yeah.
Fair play. And on to Hayes. Who was the first person you looked up to in game? Hayes, are you able to answer?
Gibbs.
You cut off.
Oh my gosh.
Where does
Can you
Hayes
hear
live?
us?
I can hear you. Try to say
Okay.
it. It's Keep.
Answer.
Keith?
Oh, Keeves.
Or Keeves?
Keeps. Okay.
Keeves is awesome.
Awesome. And now World Leader.
Server.
Server what?
What about yourself, World Leader?
I guess the first person that I really ever looked up towards, believe it or not, was well, I have two. It was like at the same time. So I guess the first one would have been this guy named Ryan the Lion Lion. He was a streamer for Bit Heroes a long time ago, back in like tier 9 when I first joined the game, around tier 9, tier 10. And he showed me everything and pretty much carried me all the way to current tier. He was current tier. He had all the best stuff. He had trophy. He had all damage reduction. He had everything back in the day when, you know, trophy and Sakura was like the best. And he just showed me everything, and his streams were fun, really great to watch, showed me the fun of the game, and it was awesome. But now I'm his carry, and I'm teaching him all
Nice.
the technical stuff. But yeah, if I could just throw a bonus in there, Toasty, I love you, man. I love Toasty. Toasty's another one I look up to, and of course Zilfer. Everyone loves Zilfer.
Everyone
But
loves
yeah,
Zilfer.
that's me.
Uh, for myself, when I started, I remember watching Gavex streaming.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
Galax was a good one.
I enjoyed watching his streams, so I looked up to him in that way. And for just speaking it off note as well, obviously anyone in the top 100 list, that just goes without saying. Uh, so that's Zilfer included in there. But yeah, just the top 100 players, the grind is absolutely insane. Uh, and just to the streamers, just trying to make it as enjoyable for the community as possible.
Before we move on, can I just chuck a little extra in there real quick?
Yeah.
Because all I said was Zilfer, and that's fair because Zilfer's like my homie. He's really supported me and all of that. But I would just like to say, right? There's this person. Some of you guys might know. His name is Winter, and
Yeah,
Yes.
Winter.
and basically when I came back to the game, I was a level 1 character. I had no friends on the friends list yet. I wasn't streaming the game. I hadn't played it in years. Winter added me. Like I just was in a random lobby and my dude was just standing there and he sent me a friend's request and Winter was like the first person to add me in game when I came back to the game, which is kind of fucking crazy for like a returning player.
Yeah. That's like
Nice.
literally the best person to add on your list.
Literally
Honestly,
the
yes.
best person in the fucking game that I could have had on my list was just standing there in the lobby and he added me up as well, like a level 1 player, like no joke. And I
He
had
saw
him
the
every single
potential.
yeah,
He saw
100%.
the potential.
That was pretty lucky, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. That was pretty dope, honestly. So I have to give credit to him.
Hope you put the lottery ticket on that day. I'm not endorsing gambling, by the way, just so we're clear. Just for the laughs. Uh, okay, so question number 6. What was your favorite tier and why? We'll start off with Azzy.
Oh, tier 7, because it's like the most giving tier in the entire game. For anybody that doesn't know this, right? Tier 7 is the most generous tier in the entire game. And I remember this from the first time I played the game. So when I played the game when it like first came out, was one of the OG players. I played right up until like T10 when that was like new content, and then I stopped playing the game. I always remembered T7 being like really rewarding. And when I came back to the game, I camped T7 and I skipped T8 completely and went straight to T9. And T7 to this day is still the most generous tier I've ever fucking been in. Like it just gives you everything.
And
It's
now,
true.
now on to Chuck.
I'd have to say I don't remember the tier, but whichever tier had world boss for the first time, because of the interaction it gave players. It was just it wasn't in the game, and it was fun. It was really the whole world boss, the whole tier was active all the way through. It was great.
And on to Plan.
Alright, so I have two for this one. Tier 7 and Tier 16. Both of these bosses took me a lot of time to beat, so it was really fun.
I get that. And Hayes, what about yourself?
Because he has the most goaded raid music.
Which one?
7.
7.
Yeah, it does.
And World Eater, what about yourself?
Okay, so I guess on an art style kind of point, and not necessarily for the D4, but I guess for the regular flags, I think it's tier. I don't know if it's 12 or 13. It's like the destroyed city and all that. I just thought it looked super dope. But I guess if we're going like play wise, my favorite tier is probably, believe it or not, everyone's gonna like say, what? Why? It's tier 10. I love
Mm,
tier 10. I know everyone hates 9 and
that is
10. I
strange.
get it. I get it. But it's because it was the first time I came to the game. I was discovering everything. I made a lot of friends, and yeah, it was just the introduction to the beginning of the game for me, and I love it so much. Like it's my favorite by far. But if it was like any other tier, believe it or not, I'd say 17 because I felt like there was a lot of action in tier 17. A lot. Zilfer was
Mhm.
at his peak and everything. Everyone was getting together. All this D4 talk. Toot was around still. It was awesome. So tier 10 and tier 17 for me, for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. I remember when T17 came out and it was pretty hype.
Yeah.
I would say tier wise for me, it would definitely be. I would say tier 9 because I think that was Arsenal tier.
Yeah.
I,
Arsenal.
I absolutely loved that set. I wish I could have carried that on throughout the tiers, but obviously elemental damage etc. was having to take into account, and obviously it just went down. The Arsenal set, but that was my favorite set anyway. And then obviously the other one before that, my very first mythic was the Gigawatt laser or something like that. The one with
Plutonium Gigawatt Laser
Yeah,
Blaster.
the name goes off the screen kind of
T7.
thing.
Yeah, literally
I
just
got
saw it
that
like
as
a second
well.
ago.
Uh,
It's the
That
only
was
thing I didn't get from T7.
that's a shout out to T7 as well. I think that was the very first mythic you could get, if I'm right in saying.
Early days Mythics, T7
Yeah.
for sure.
I think it was anyway. It was one of the first mythics I think you could get in game. That was also a big hype. But yeah. So let's see. I answered it last. So, to do question 7. What was your thoughts on Bit Heroes Runners Beta? If you've played it at all, Azzy.
What is this? Bit Heroes Runners Beta.
Yeah, like the beta for Bit Heroes Runners. So there's 3. There's Bit Heroes Runners, Arena, and Quest. Quest
Yeah,
is
I've
usually
tried
what you do.
Quest and Arena. I haven't played Runners yet.
Okay.
It's so good.
Runners is pretty good.
Chuck, what about yourself?
I haven't tried it either. I don't know.
Fair play. Plan?
So I have tried both Arena and Runner. So personally, I love Beater's Runner. It's I think have a lot of potential and it is a really good game. But Beater's Arena has like a lot of lags and a lot of stuff is buggy and broken. And
Mhm.
personally, I don't like battle royale games anyway. So
Same.
I'll just stick to Beater's Runner. It's a good game, I think.
Fair play. And Hayes, what about yourself?
Any of the new ones, I gotta really try it. But from what it looked from based on your stream, it doesn't look too bad.
Fair play. And World Eater, what about yourself?
So I've noticed there are quite a bit of bugs in it, but I did see a lot of people play it. I played one game and it was fun. It was really fun. I want to keep playing it, just don't have time. But I think once they get past the bugs and all that, I think it has potential to be probably the second best Bit Heroes game. I think has a lot of potential. I love the art style. I hope they do things like switching out the dragon with other different familiars. I guess as it goes by, that'd be really cool. But I don't know. It's a pretty cool game, and I'm really looking forward to playing it more when I have some more free time after the holidays.
Awesome. And for myself, I enjoy Bit Heroes Runners. Uh, Obviously, Quest is number 1. I think that goes for everyone here.
Yeah.
Quest
Yeah,
is definitely
Yeah.
number 1.
perfect.
And then after that, I would say a close on that one would be Runners. Obviously, I play Quest a lot more, but I really do enjoy Runners. I've streamed quite a lot of Runner gameplay. I usually try and somewhat keep in the top 50 every day, if not at least weekly. But it can become very difficult. Uh, but I definitely enjoy it. I like all the wee kind of things they've added into it. Obviously, these games are in beta, so they may still change quite a few things here and there. But
Yeah.
so far, I am enjoying it. Uh, It would be nice if I could link my main account to it, but I can understand if I'm not able to. And on to question 8. What was your thoughts on Bit Heroes Arena beta?
Um,
Azzy.
so it was mentioned already. Like, I'm not a huge BR fan. I'm just gonna go out on a limb right now and say I don't like BRs. Okay, it's not really my kind of genre. That being said, when BRs were up and coming and they were a thing, like I played a lot of Apex Legends and I enjoyed it. I'm very open minded about games. When Bit Heroes Arena dropped, I actually had no idea what it was. Like, I totally misunderstood. I thought it was more of like a Diablo, like ARPG style version. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I jumped on, and I was totally surprised to find that it's Bit Heroes Arena. It's a BR. That being said, as far as a BR goes, like it's not bad. As far as bugs go, like you've just mentioned, these games are still in beta. A lot can change between now and when they're finalized. I played the when Bitverse went live. Like I think it was their first time going live with Bit Heroes Arena. I jumped on it. I jumped into the game. I made a character. I played a few rounds. I even won a game. The only reason I won the game though is because of a bug. So right now it's kind of I'd say it's too early to say. As somebody who's not a fan of BR games, it's not a bad game. Like I found myself enjoying it. I haven't gone back to it since though.
Hmm.
I hope to see that I hope to see them improve. I'm sure they're going to work out some of the bugs that exist, and I think it could be a lot of fun for people that are into BRs and even those who are like maybe not as into BRs but like Bit Heroes and want to try something new. I think it's interesting. I will say I've played it. I played it on release, and I haven't gone back and played it since. So obviously, for me personally, there hasn't been very much of a pull.
And Chuck, what about yourself?
So I like BRs. Well, I like Apex. I don't like the other ones, but this BR just doesn't give me the rush like the other ones do. So it's just not for me, I guess. I mean, I guess it has potential. I don't know. I don't know if the 8-bit market in a BR is really the play or not, but it's okay.
Fair enough. Plan, what about yourself?
So I played both Runner and Beaters Arena, but I'm not a huge fan of Battle Royale games. But I did play a fair bit of Beaters Runner. It was fun, to say the least, but there are a lot of bugs and there are a lot of places that makes no sense, that block paths that make no sense. But my biggest problem with it right now is that I cannot play a game. I legit cannot connect. It won't let me connect to the game. So I don't know if I can say anything about it right now because I can't even play it. So
Sad.
Fair enough. And Hayes, what about yourself?
Think the idea of branching out in general with the type of games aren't too bad, but I don't really for me that it was really played for a while on the Heroes Quest stuff. And I'm built into that type of style that they have for it, so I'm not really used to many of the other styles. And concerning Bit Heroes Arena specifically, I wasn't really it didn't really pull me, I should say, because it just wasn't there. The interests weren't there, and I didn't really enjoy it as much as someone else would have enjoyed it.
I get that. And World.
Okay, I might slaughter this game pretty bad. So I like BRs. I'm very open minded with a bunch of games. I play literally just about every type of game from like a RuneScape style to Dead Space to like Bit Heroes, everything. Right? I love games.
Mhm.
And the thing about this battle royale is not only is it buggy, it has no highlighting features to it. It has no appeal to me. The artwork is very bad. Um, it just looks very sloppy, like some kid made it. In my opinion, I love Bit Heroes. I love what these guys are doing with Runner. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that Bit Heroes Arena is a bad game. I'm just saying that it needs a lot of work before it could even come close to being as appealing as even Runner. So I personally think there needs to be a lot of changes in it. I love that you can use like abilities and stuff. I did play quite a bit of Arena myself. I think I played once with Antimens as well, and it was nice. The thing is, again, it's very boring style. is what's keeping me away. The boring artwork. I've played a top-down view BR that was actually pixel style. I forgot the name. It was on Steam, and I liked it a lot. They did a
Hmm.
very good job on it. The only problem was they had no advertisement, and there was literally like no funding in their advertisement. So hardly anyone knew about the game, but when it came out, it was pretty nice. But anyways, back to Arena. It's to me, it could be better, and hopefully they put some more work into it. Maybe get a new team just to focus on it. That way, there's nothing taken away from the other two games because I think they have a lot of promise already. Of course, Quest, but Runner, and I don't know. I just feel like if they can just amplify the background a little bit because it just looks like you're walking on a flat piece of cardboard, then it would be nice, but it just does not seem appealing to me. There's not enough to do in there. The map's too big for the amount of people playing it. And yeah, that's my opinion on Bit Heroes Arena.
And fair enough. For myself, I've played all three. I've played Quest, Runners, Arena. But out of the three, I would say Arena is the one that I've least played. Uh, I think there is a lot of potential there because I know there's tons of people that do like arena games. Fair enough. Maybe some of the community here doesn't enjoy those kind of games, but for myself, I do like that kind of idea. At least I do like the idea of a last person standing. I tried it, haven't managed to play enough games yet to get a victory. Uh, I find it difficult to kill people on it, but I think that could just be due to obviously you're trying to host it as well as playing with people all across the world. Like, fair enough. Maybe it would be easier if it was like only like European server and like a UK server kind of thing. Like if they're to like put into sections, uh, potentially can make it less laggy that way. Uh, and the main bug that I found is if you use the axe, you can actually jump outside of the map, where you're not
Oh
meant
wow.
to be.
It has a lot of bugs. Okay, I know
Yeah,
it's
it's
early
really bad.
days, but it's super fucking bug.
Yeah, with one of the
Compared to Runner,
abilities,
it's a train wreck.
yeah, with one of the abilities, you can kind of jump outside the map. But then again, there's a square of where is like you cannot pass at all. But for the most of it, it's you can jump outside the map. Uh, but I do enjoy the arena game. Maybe just needs a wee bit more TLC, but I mean, I haven't played enough because I've been so addicted to quests and runners. So I think
Yeah.
that's why it's not getting the limelight it needs to carry on. So now
Can I
this
throw
is a
something in real quick?
yeah, sure, sure.
It's like just a thought, and it would be awesome if you guys gave me an opinion. How awesome would it be if they came up with a fighting game where you can use familiars, like
Yeah,
a
that would have
like
been
a Tekken
awesome.
A
style?
Pokemon
That would
style
be
game or like a
awesome.
beat 'em up style
More,
game.
more like a Street Fighter side to
Right.
side or
Yeah,
Marvel.
yeah.
It'd be funny because like imagine like using like Shramps or your NFT even or even your character. And if you use characters or NFTs, it'd go based off like the weapon in your hand. But like, how awesome would that be? Like, I think that'd be awesome. But
It's
yeah,
a
that
more
was just a
interesting
thought.
concept than Arena, to be fair. I don't know what
Yeah,
possessed them to come up with the idea of making a battle royale. I guess for me personally, and I don't want to just shit on Congregate, especially as a content creator for Bit Heroes, but I genuinely feel like Congregate are going more and more in the direction of just pure monetization and less to do with like original concepts and ideas. I have the feeling that the only reason they made a Bit Heroes Battle Royale is because Battle Royales are like one of the more popular kinds of games, and it's a free to play format that you can monetize. I think
true.
that's the only reason they made it.
So me personally, I wanted a card game
Yeah,
like
that'd be sick.
Inscription or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I love card games. From Magic to Pokemon, I love them all.
yeah, for sure. I do. I get kind of addicted to card games pretty easily.
That'd
And
be
I
nice.
don't know if you guys know this, but Beat Heroes Arena, if you have items better than your opponent, you have a big lead. There are
Oh wow.
resistances and stuff from items which you can get. And I played against two people and they did zero damage to me when they were hitting me.
Wow. Okay. So it's very pay to win, is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure
Dang.
it's going to be a big pay to win.
I'm not surprised. And just like I know you want to keep going with the questions, RX, but I would just like to put out there very quickly, seeing as somebody already mentioned NFTs, if we're going to say it, we need to bring it up at some point. It's a point of discussion.
We can bring it up later on, but
Okay, that sounds good. I don't want to derail the podcast, but I just feel like it needs discussed.
yeah, obviously, if like I say, if anyone has NDAs, they can pass whatever question they feel like.
Right, yeah.
It. But I just don't want it to be going too much into anarchy, because I know some people can have very strong
Yeah.
emotions on certain topics, which I want to try and keep it somewhat lighthearted.
Good to be constructive and try and leave the emotion out of it. And
Yeah,
I fully understand that we're not trying to spend an hour on each talking point here, you know?
yeah. But if
We want everyone.
we go on to the kind of more, let's just say, slightly controversial topics,
Yeah.
let's just try and keep our main emotions out of it, and just try not to be too savage with the way we're wording things. Okay, so on to question number 9. Which tier do you think passing is the most challenging? Start off with Azza.
Yeah, I don't know. This I spent a long time in tier 10, I guess, but for me that was just because I was doing the Glarsdos grind. In terms of actually passing a tier, I couldn't tell you, you know. I really couldn't
Wait
tell
till
you.
you see Claypole. Wait till you see Claypole.
There, okay. The only thing I can say based off because some of you guys are gonna have a better idea about like the higher tiers, but one thing that I just as like an honorary mention, in I think it's T11, there's a raid, and it doesn't matter how good your raid team is, if you don't know how to do the raid, you will get beaten. It's the fire one. What's that one? It's like the volcanic one.
Yeah.
It's tier
Oh.
11, where that
Tier
freaking
11
annoying
raid.
one where
Yeah.
they
Is it
all
Charred
have the
Expanse?
take 15% of your health.
Is it
The
Charred
higher
Expanse?
chart expanse, the higher DPS you have, the more likely you are to get one tapped.
I think that's what it's called. Let me check.
Yeah, I think it's
Yes,
chart
it is.
expanse T11 raid. So just
Yeah.
out of my own
That's
personal experience, like, because I have like one of the best raid teams in the entire game, in my opinion. So I've never struggled with a raid. But when I got to T11 raid, I hit auto. I just went in there and I watched Zilfer, I watched Roasty Chicken, I watched like Angel's Guy all just get one tapped, and it scared the shit out of me.
And what about yourself, Chuck?
So we're talking like clearing flags.
Yeah, mainly
into the tier?
mainly clearing flags. Yes.
I haven't struggled with clearing flags since like the beginning of the game.
Same.
I mean,
So,
yeah, that would make sense for yourself, but
not too sure.
fair
I'll
enough.
pass on this one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
It
you
just
have
brings-
an alt, don't you? What are you
Do what?
struggling with on your alt? On your alt, are you struggling?
No, I just hardly play it. I'll hop on and grind stuff. I just try to get a
grind
set.
stuff.
I just try to get the sets and then move on. Sets, move on. And when I do move on, I usually just go through it pretty easily.
Yeah, I've been autoing everything since like tier 6.
And
So I don't.
what about yourself, Plan?
So I want to say it's tier 16 Claypole, but I don't think he takes that title. Tier 7 Goose before augments. It took me at least 4 months. 4 months to beat that dungeon.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, before augments, that was a nightmare.
I was
From
going
what
to
I've
say
heard.
the earlier tiers are, obviously difficult, aren't they?
And
Goose gave me legit nightmares.
and now on to Hayes.
From tier I think it was 7. Right.
Don't lie to yourself. You know it was Jerry.
Oh, be quiet. Brimby was one of the worst ones though, because he was just really annoying to, to battle two bosses in the same tier back to back that were both trash. Brimby had like the speed of a freaking lightning bolt, and he just wiped half my team usually, and I barely beat it the time I actually did beat it, which was so annoying. And Clable will come second, so you weren't wrong.
And on to World.
Okay, so I have multiple accounts, as a lot of you guys know, and on all of them, except my main, Brimby has been so annoying, especially on my new account, Rare Fams Only. I'm stuck on Brimby right now, I think, or I'm somewhere around there. I don't remember. But Brimby has just always been so annoying, and it's because I really hate the Eularius grind. So sometimes I just try to do it without getting Eularius, but it's like, guess I'll go farm Eularius. He's good throughout the whole game. Some people use him in current D4s, blah blah blah. I know he's good, but it's like Brimby was super annoying, and I don't know why. Everyone like hypes Goose, and like I auto Goose almost all the time. I beat Goose on my first try if I manual on almost all my accounts, and but for some reason Brimby is like super aggravating to me whenever I do play on an account that's not as like strong as my main 3 accounts. Then it's like, yeah, Brimby's pretty annoying. But I haven't reached any of the further tiers with those yet, so I can't really say past tier
What tier
13
is
ish.
Brimby?
I can't
13?
Tier
remember.
7. Tier 7.
7, I believe.
What
Yeah,
is it
I
about
it's
think
just
Brimby
after
that's so hard?
Goose.
it's only hard
He's
if you
freaking
don't get
fast and he targets your
So,
whole team.
so he's DPS.
It's only hard if you don't have Eularius, like he was saying.
it's also hard depending on the role you go for. I was going for a baitish tankish role, so I had to rely on my fams to do the damage, if that helps any. That's usually my roles on my
Brimby.
accounts.
Brimby is much easier with the DPS.
Yeah. So it's pretty challenging if you go the tanky route.
And for myself, I struggled in quite a few of them. But obviously, I think it's also down to who you speak to, really. Because, for example, with like Goose and things like that, I struggled because at the time I didn't have the information easily available to me
Hmm.
of how to beat these certain ones. So I can totally understand if you're kind of brand new player, just grinding up solo or just being even in a faction but not really chatting too much in the factions and not really, or maybe not even getting the answers that you're looking for. That can be an issue where you just don't know how to beat these things. Maybe you didn't know about augments. Maybe you didn't know you had to go for this certain familiar. Like, I think that the start off of not realizing that you actually have to plan certain things out be quite difficult that way. And for myself personally, because I've switched from DPS, I was DPS up until about tier 11, so I've noticed the struggle is a bit more difficult for myself trying to pass these tiers because I know if you get things like Einar, that helps you massively throughout the tiers. It just uh, makes it look kind of easy.
Hmm.
But for example, with tank sets, like it's very difficult. Uh, I struggled through tier 15, tier 16, but then again, I technically was under TS. But as a free to play, it is difficult because I'm wanting to bring like nice content, showing them actually progressing. So it's difficult to try and bring exciting content when you're constantly stuck in a tier. But it is what it is. It is a grinding game, so I totally understand and agree with that. But as a tank, it feels way, way more difficult to progress as quickly compared to
Yeah,
DPS.
for sure.
So, uh, see, after this next question, would anyone want maybe like a 2 minute break at all?
I'm good. I work
Yeah, I'm
in,
good
in
as
like
well.
40 minutes, so
Okay.
I want to steamroll these.
Yeah, same. I'm good to just keep going, but I'll say because I'm gonna have to dip randomly, so I'll just message you or X and let you know when I need to dip.
We do have to get done with these pretty
That's
fast.
fine. Uh, we can go. Uh, so we
Lightning
say we have
round.
about 40 minutes left, if not less, because we can try and do kind of hot rounds if you want, but it may be quite quick.
What about we can do this
10
one.
more
You
questions.
guys ever thought about a part 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We could only do like
We
another
can
10
do
questions, and
10
then we could
and
do
then
the rest
another
of them.
10. That's more content anyways, so might as well.
Well, will we do this last question just now?
Yeah, and then we can go off about the NFT if you want.
Okay.
Do we need to talk
We'll
about the
go for the
NFT?
bombshell at the end.
I have
Okay.
a very unpopular opinion, so I'm ready to share it with everybody.
Okay.
Uh,
Just try and not put too much salt in the wind.
No, I'm not very aggressive with this stuff.
Okay.
I will
I
be
know people.
realistic and unemotional. We all have opinions and the right to share those opinions. Let's just try and be professional about it.
So
Yes. Okay. Question 10. Let's go.
question 10, whilst we're all not crying. Uh, what would be something you would like to see added to the game?
What something I would like to see added to the game? Um, I've had a few ideas already, like throughout the years that I've been playing the game, but honestly, in terms of actually improving the game for like player experience, and I guess this is kind of a big ask because a lot of it's down to like monetization, but I feel like the shop used to be way different, my guys. You know what I mean? I feel like as a free to play player, there used to be more in the game for me to interact with. It used to feel like slightly less of a pay to win grind. You know what I mean? I would just like to see a little bit more interaction for the free to play players, like just some more mechanics, just some basic, whatever it is. Maybe just put a couple more packs in the shop like there used to be. You know what I mean?
Fair
I
play.
think for that, what they should do is if there's like a $20 pack for a pet, let's say, they should make it like $40 or $60 worth in gems to get as a free to play or something
Yeah,
along the line.
100%. You used to have way more opportunities to buy the same packs for gems, and now they just do not do that.
And
Like even if it costs more, that would be nice for the free to play scene.
Exactly. Yeah, because I would save up if I knew for a fact that everything that was going to come out pay to play also had like a free to play version, but it just cost a shit ton of gems. Then I would set on my gems and use
Same.
them specifically for things that I want.
and
the only thing, the only thing good is 6,500 gems. Just that is just
Yeah.
resources for the free player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing good.
don't worry, everyone will get our time to speak. On to Chuck. What?
Something out of the game.
Yeah, anything
I would
added
like
at all?
just consistent like loot or new things to find throughout the entire tier, not just all at once, and then we gotta sit on it for 5 months,
That's so
6
true.
months. Made it not to be much, just like kind of like they did now, where they just threw some new cosmetics into the gauntlet this week. Just
I
do that
love
like
that.
every 2 weeks since other
Yeah, that's
games are
cool. That's cool.
And what about yourself, Flan?
All right, sorry, boys. It's going to be a little bit controversial, but I would like to see some balance. Witchum right now is so broken that it's doing 10 times more damage than a DPS.
Everybody's using it as well. It's not a good sign in your game when every single or the majority of players gravitate towards a specific item. It's a clear sign that that item is unbalanced.
But
They
then
just need to
again,
make the evade 15 or 10% to like balance it out a little bit, in my opinion.
it's only that kind of broken if you have Clover with it, in my opinion.
I don't know about that, my dude. I would take Witchum
No.
right now. If I could get Witchum, I'd take it. It was definitely going to be an improvement.
There's this guy in my guild named Charles, I think 95 or 75. When I go against him in PvP, he actually beats me 50% of the time and he has no clover.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
savage.
The problem with Witchum is its first skill is damage and shield. Why does it have both? Why? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's a tank. It's not a DPS. Why does it have a DPS skill on it for free?
You know, that's true. Maybe if they took the offensive portion of it away and maybe dumbed down the evade to 20%, it would make it a way more balanced set. And it would
Maybe
still be very good to tanks.
I have to agree that one of the reasons Witchum is so overpowered is because it's like you can use it as a tank or you can use it as DPS. It's all about your build around Witchum. It's too flexible.
I've totally not got Witchum at the moment. Let's not nerf it. And it's the only thing keeping the tanks going at the moment. Just the hope that one day we'll get Witchum. But yeah, as a kind of full-on
The-
tank main, Witchum is like heaven's doors opening to you kind of thing.
Oh,
The
yeah, it's a
vampirism
game
set,
changer.
yeah, the vampirism set is also really good, but it comes nowhere close to Witchum.
You talking about which one? That's the which one's that?
Oh, I've
The
heard of that
vampirism set.
vampirism set. Not many people use it though. But I'll quickly just ask Hayes, what's your thoughts on it? If you want me to say, I will say, uh, what would
I don't think it's a bad set. Or let me rephrase myself. Okay, so basically, what I think they should really implement into the game is more diversity for the whole community in general, because half of the players probably aren't doing much every day. Like a bunch of us are either just getting on doing region and dipping,
Hmm.
which is not what you usually want in a video game, because you're not really getting much diversity, and eventually you're obviously going to get bored, and that's not going to help the look of the game, which probably won't happen when you're starting out the game, but you beat the game so fast that it like comes to you very rapidly, and eventually happens, which is why we need a lot more diversity in the game modes and the things we do, and maybe just to like give us more energy or something like that to be able to do the raids and etc. Just a little bit more, because I mean, half of us aren't gonna from an extra raid or two, so I don't. That's what I would want.
and what about
They
yourself,
said
World?
they said something about giving stuff to the content creators. I don't know what it is, but
It's
do
nothing.
you guys know? It's
I'm a
nothing.
part of the program and I haven't gotten a single thing. But to be
I
fair, I haven't posted in a month and a half because I've been busy. But I was probably the most frequent poster for a while. But I mean, that's its own thing. I can't really like talk about anything else. But I
Yeah,
haven't got nothing. That's all I'm gonna say.
They
But
said something about thousands of gems or something.
I I don't know about that. I don't really want to say anything about it. But I'll just say personally that I haven't gotten anything, and I was going hard at it. So if that helps you with anything.
That's
and
really interesting.
we'll get back on topic at the moment. So anything you'd like to see added to the game world?
Yes. It probably has to do with one of the future questions, but it's literally the what I really want the most in the game, and that's a whole revamp on the guild system. I think what I really want is I want there to be an alliance option to where if you're a guild, you can add one guild as a sub guild to your
Hmm.
alliance, not two, one, because all these mega guilds are just going to be hogging all the players and it's going to kill off the other guilds. It's not healthy for the game. So one alliance guild as a sister guild. They will benefit from the guild list, so you won't need to have players added on your list. And I also want some more things to do in a guild, like a guild boss or a guild raid or something where the players have to be actively on to play it with you, and your guild will benefit from it. And more things with guild bucks, like let's say you have 1,000 guild bucks or something. Maybe that's over too much. Maybe like 250, and you can buy a boost that gives 100 item find, gold find, capture rate, and everything for the whole guild, but you have to keep using your guild bucks. So it'll make players that are starting a new guild be like, do I want to do this or do I want to make my guild better? Well, we have to push more so I can do a little bit of both. You know what I mean? It'll give you reasons to push, give you reasons to be active, reasons to talk to your guild, reasons to use guild chat and not Discord. You know, it's the guild system. If it was better, I promise you, this game will be so much more active than it is right now. And it's not that it's bad. I just think a guild is just a house with a name tag, a place you spend honor. You know, it's nothing special. It really isn't. Like, I don't care. You can change Rev to freaking GG. You can change GG to freaking anything else, man. I won't make a difference. I'm my player. The guild doesn't do anything for me. I have a players list, a friends list with Chuck, Winter, all the big heads on there. I don't need a guild. You
Yeah,
know.
right. Yeah. That's
So
such
it
a
just
valid
needs
point as
something to
well.
do. It needs something more. Even if it's just adding that boss, or even if it's just adding the alliance or something, it'll
Some
help
kind
the
of
game
guild conquest, just anything to get people involved in their guild. It's such a good idea.
Yes, for sure. And I guess a bonus, being able to trade in your common or rare materials or anything to the shop guy in town for gold. Because I don't need any more of that material. I would love gold. I would sell it to him any day of the week. You
Mhm.
know, I would love that. or some way of getting gold. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the
Such a
Yeah,
good idea.
I just remember something else. I would love to have a bigger friend list so I can add more people.
I agree.
Oh yeah, I wish I could help more people like that.
Yeah,
I'm always
Yeah,
capped.
I know. It's the awkward thing is I have more people wanting to add me than I have added me, and I'm not even max tier. Like, so I could understand for the ones that are like, top 100. They would have insane amount of ads.
I'm not even top 100, and my list is always full.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah, mine as well. I have to remove a lot of top tier players just to add the lower tier players so
Yeah.
I can help them.
and for myself, what would like to be added? Uh, personally, I like cosmetic things, but at the same time, I don't like seeing the pet all the time. I like very minimalistic look in the game for myself personally, and I love how you can hide mounts, you can hide accessories,
Yeah.
which has just been
Hide down.
recent, which I'm happy about.
Yeah, I think they're going to add the pet
Yeah.
option
Hide
as
pet.
well later.
Yeah. It would make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff. Like that kind of way. I want it to be as much customizable as possible. Uh, like obviously you can choose whether to show your offhand, main hand, because that would make your cosmetics look a lot better if you can hide certain things.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and the thing probably stopping me using certain cosmetics to look cool when you're standing is see when you're walking, it doesn't look cool. That is like the only thing that's stopping me
Yeah.
from using certain cosmetics. Is the walking animation with this massive thing that's like 3 foot long compared to your character.
There's a few mounts that remove that animation.
Yeah. But I don't want to use mounts, so I'd rather just be like on the ground with the weapon. That's the annoying part. But other than that, I would say, I mean, a lot of you have made great points, I would say. Um, what could be added that, let's see, something I want to add to the game. So the pet one was
Y-
definitely up there for me.
You know, it would be cool
Huh?
if they added, like, you know how this is going back to when Chuck said some things to get throughout the tier. If you know how they just recently had like those mounts that came out, like, oh, this cat mount is only here right now, oh, this other mount is here right now, or Juptor's back. Like, it would be cool if there was like a time to farm certain items, like items, not cosmetics, items that aren't super game changing, maybe like a mythic, you know what I mean? It could be game changing if it's overpowered, of course, but like a mythic would come around in this tier during this event or something like that. That way you have to play in order to have a chance to get that item. It'll keep you wanting to come. It'll keep the game fresh and interesting. And it would be nice if it was something more than just cosmetics that would come around. They could even just throw it in the expedition. Like, oh, if you get this mythic in the expedition, this is the only time you can get it. It'll come back this other time. Something, I don't know, worth farming than just like a cosmetic that I'm gonna wear for a day and then take it off and never wear it again. You know what I'm saying? So something like that would be cool. Like, I don't think it's too hard to implement one item into the game every now and then. Like, I don't think it'd be that crazy.
So there are a few things that they added that I really like. The energy on level up, that was a great thing for
Yeah.
new players.
Oh
Uh-huh.
yes.
I remember that addition. Such a great idea.
It helped the new players a lot.
Hmm.
And I mean, I bet you could think of loads of ideas that could be added off stream, kind of thing.
Over time, I feel like
But
we will have been doing this, like spitballing ideas. Like
Yeah.
over the past couple of years, I've had many.
I feel like it's one
Yeah.
of those things where you can't think of it on the spot, kind of thing. But as
Yeah,
soon as
for
you're off
sure.
stream, you're like, "Oh, I can think of 3." And they're really good ones.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I enjoy what they're doing with Bit Heroes, especially with Quest. I'm glad
Yeah,
that they're adding a lot more. But I'd maybe say the main thing that needs to be added would be to do with like free to play, where
Yeah.
just a possible way of doing more regen, because obviously you can only do so much, and then you have to wait like an hour for this, 30 minutes for that. Like, I know they love putting like adverts on and things like that. So maybe if you made those rewards better for watching videos, I think that would
Yeah,
help
for
free to
sure.
Yeah, I
plays a
agree with
lot
that. I
more.
agree with that.
So watch this video and you can, I don't know, get 100 energy. Like whatever it is just now, I don't think it's enough for people actually to watch the videos. So I think if the video stuff gets increased, like reward wise, I think that would definitely help, especially for free to
Oh,
plays.
I have something I really want to say.
Mhm.
Um, I really want another rune and augment slot for elemental stuff, like really bad. Like I would love to take advantage of those elemental runes, but why would I use that when I can just slap on block, evade, DR, anything like that?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
Yeah,
love
those runes,
another
those
four
runes are
or even
neglected.
two, even two. Like if they doubled the amount they gave and just gave us two, that'd be perfect. If they want to put four, they could put four. If they want to put one, they could put one, but they would at least have to double the value that each one gives. And I would love to be able to make any familiar um have elemental damage or resistance. It would be nice, you know, like just give us an extra augment slot. It can be anything really, you know. Um, it'd be nice to have something new added like that because when ever since they added it, I was just thinking, man, I can use Say White and I could just stock up a bunch of water resistance, you know, and use Lander Broom or something and have an awesome build. But then it's just like, do I really want to do that when I can just use Witch'em and have it be way more effective? You know, it's
Mhm.
like, but if I had a chance to have some of those resistances or damages, it could possibly help. You know, it's not going to change the game like so dramatically that it's going to break it, but it'll be nice. And Elementarium won't affect it, so you won't have like all these super boosted things. You'll just have the added on stuff. I really think that'd be nice. Or I don't know, just something like that. Because right now, all of those things are completely useless.
Yeah, they're redundant. Elemental resistance feels totally redundant to me, and it always has done.
They are completely neglected.
I had one of every resistance, and then I realized, why am I doing this? And I scrapped it and I turned it on to ancient fragments.
Yeah, this isn't PoE.
The
Like, what the fuck?
the one thing I noticed as well, see with raids, you know how it takes obviously like maybe an hour or so to get one raid shard. One thing that I noticed that I thought was quite low personally was the gold you get per raid. I think I got like 4.5k gold. To some that might seem a lot, but for anyone going for mythic stuff,
Yeah,
four
everything is so
5k
expensive.
is absolutely nothing per raid run.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But
Oh, another thing for up tiering sets, I really want to talk about this. You know how up tiering an ancient is like 1,000, right? Which is the
yeah,
max you use to upgrade at the final level, which I always got. Okay, 1,000, and then I have to do 250, 500, 750, and then 1,000, right? Why is it for sets you have to do 500 and then 250? Like that 500 I think is way too high to up tier anything cuz if you think about it it's like dude, I'm literally like throwing an extra 2k just to up tier this set, you know? It's ridiculous. I think that should go down to 250 as well. I think 500 is so high for up tiering a set. I honestly don't dislike it. I can honestly say I hate it. I hate doing that so much. It's not like it's going to stop me from playing the game, but when I have my free to play account trying to up tier Witcham right now, I just up tiered Aeneas, or however you say that freaking name. Um, and it's a nightmare. It's really annoying because I could have used all those resources to actually farm something else, and it's like, dang, 2,000 right down the drain just to up tier this a little bit.
Get up
I think
tiering.
it's too high. I think 1,000 for a full set is more than enough. 250 each. That's plenty, and you still need 250 of the other resource as well. So you're already doing 500 as it is, you know. So in reality, it's 750 just to up tier, isn't it? Something like that.
yeah, I think it is about that. And
It's a lot.
on that kind of idea, for example, myself, when it comes to Starweave, it is brutal trying to get those mythics. Like, see, when you need us
Tell me
like
about it.
3 mythics from 3 different things, like trials, raid, and world boss. Uh, when not only that, you need like say 2,500 materials. I understand the
Yeah.
2,500 materials, but I don't really understand why you also need the mythic raid shards because within that 2,500 materials, more than likely you would have had mythics, but you would have probably got rid of them a long time ago to do certain things with them. I think that's pretty brutal. But then again,
It, they
at the end of the
also
day, it is ancient, so I can understand that it has to be more difficult, no matter what set upgrading and mythic upgrading.
there's also one thing that I want to talk about. The new releases of the World Boss are kinda really hard to beat, especially for DPS like me. They have added brains to the World Bosses. So now, even
Mm.
in tier 16 with full team, I sometimes die for no reason. I don't know why they're making it so hard.
A lot of
The
people don't like
problem
the
is,
brains.
well, the problem is they're killing off. Okay, this is my opinion. Chuck, you can say whatever you want because I know you're a DPS main. I am not. I think they're destroying dual strike and quad strike when it comes to when it comes to any world boss unless you're using shield because you don't want to proc those brains, man. I see a guy come in with Thundercracker and I'm like, I literally leave the lobby. I leave the lobby because I can pass more solo than I can with a full team with one guy with Thundercracker in beef because he'll just be procking away or I'll die. I notice every time a Thundercracker comes in, I die. I don't know what brains are in there because I don't care. I just do the content. I can do it right, but
Yeah, I think
I
they're
know once a
getting.
Thundercracker comes in, it destroys me.
It's not so much dual strike, quad strike. It's speed. You don't want to be really fast, so you can hit twice, but you just gotta hit pretty hard. So you have to shift your speed to power.
Yeah, this is why
And
everybody is going on
that's the
and
thing.
power runes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
they're making
power.
it harder because World Boss was becoming a solo activity, and it was never meant to be that. It's meant to be.
Yeah, they don't want certain people to solo beef. You know what I mean? Like I've been
Yeah,
watching Silver doing that shit, and like you, I get that they've made it more difficult, and for some people in lower tiers who are not, they don't understand. Like as I go up through tier 14, 15, 16, 17, it's going to be even more difficult for me now than it was before. But at the end of the day, like they don't want a single person beating the world boss.
Okay,
what they
that
need to
is fine.
do is they need to do it to where if you have a full roster, it could probably take the brains away or
Mm-hmm.
something. That
Something,
way
yeah,
it
a
encourages
team
you to
bonus or
have a
something.
full team. Yeah,
Well,
like oh yeah, as long as you have a full team, it'll give you maybe more item find
A
or
bonus or
more.
something.
Yeah, something. Take away some of the because it's bad. I have a DPS account that's my second strongest account. I just switched it from tank to DPS so I could try it out, and it's hard. I literally just I cannot use I cannot use certain things if I want to farm with my main account. I just cannot. Like I can't use that bow. I use Aeneas main hand instead, and I'm having a lot better of a farm that way. But for some reason, I just find it easier to solo still than playing with a team with any DPS on my team. It's either full tanks or solo, and that's the only way I do it now, unless I'm manualing my DPS account because a lot of people just I don't know. It's hard having any DPS in my team, and it's not that I don't want to play with them. I love helping people. Like sometimes I'll just join whatever lobby's open if I don't feel like farming beef, and I'll help anyone from tier 3 all the way to tier 18, 19, whatever's current. I forget. And the thing is, I just lose so much and they lose and I feel like I'm just doing injustice to them by playing with them. So it's like whatever, we're gonna lose anyways. I mean, what's the point if we try
you need to
beef?
tell them to reforge something from speed to power, and you guys will win.
No, yeah, I
They're
get
hitting too
that.
often, procking the brains too much, and they're not doing enough damage to kill them. So
The
it's
They
thing is,
just
just
shouldn't
killing you
have
guys.
to do that as a thing.
see, in my opinion, like World Boss is probably where the game falls into its biggest pitfall for isolating players and pushing people away from the game, especially in the earlier tiers. So the fact that they've gone and they've taken like the most toxic, difficult piece of games content and made it even more difficult is like the biggest shooting themselves in the foot that they could have possibly done. Because I feel like World Boss sometimes is the single most frustrating and isolating piece of Bit Heroes content in the game.
Well, they went back from the beginning tier to like tier 12, and they made all the world bossy. They did this like 3 months ago. Maybe. They did it for that reason, to 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 help with hard. It's hard to get a full team, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
also can't design content and be like, how's this going to look in 3 years? You got to design it as it
Yeah.
comes out
As
for
is,
current
yeah.
tier.
The
So
I
they,
like
they
what they're
went back and they
doing.
said, hey, it's hard to fill up team. We see that's an issue, but you gotta understand they didn't create it with that in mind. They created it as if we're gonna have a full team. So
There's
as long
two
as they keep going back and bring down the difficulty of the world bosses as we move on, I think that's fine.
apologies. There's two things I wanted to mention with that kind of thing where this could potentially help. The first one was to do with the world boss. You don't get much time to talk because people want to do as quickly as possible. Makes
Yep.
sense. I think it should show how many uh tokens you have currently. Like say if you have like one ready to go, you have like 200, all that kind of stuff. I think it should show how many you have active. So you don't need to type, oh, I need to go get a duffel kind of thing or things like that. Uh
That's actually a really good idea.
and maybe
Very good idea.
see with that, I think it should also be a way where you can not have to exit it to go to guild to get more zeals, then go back in, because then you might lose your spot, etc. Like there should be a way
Here's
of
the
being able.
trick:
Yeah, there should be a way of.
popping zeals. But
Yeah, there should be a way of, because obviously, say if you do like say 1,000 runs, obviously then you'll have more guild stuff that you could go back and get more zeals.
yeah,
Fair enough that
Mm.
way. But another one that I wanted to mention for world boss was not many people want to like see the higher tiers. Not many of them would want to go and out their way to help lower tier, which I totally understand because at the end of the day, people play the game their own way. They want to look after themselves first, which makes sense. Uh, but a few people out there, a few of the higher levels, really super nice, going out their way to help lower tiers. But I think what they could do is potentially add something in. You know how you have like guild bucks and things like that? Maybe if they're to do that, because the way I'm meaning is if you're doing something at T7, there's nothing there you need at all. Being like, say, T19 or anything like that. Like, it wouldn't even help towards the small end of going for Starwave. You wouldn't even get
yeah, I
anything.
get you.
Maybe they should introduce something that could be like universally helpful for people wanting to help low tiers. Like, for example, you could
Yeah,
certain
I get you.
materials that you could exchange for gold or something like that. Just
A
something
Current
that's
currency
talking
from
yeah,
World Boss that
just
just is
something
all
that's more
across all
worth.
tiers.
Yeah, that would make it so the higher tiers would actively help lower tiers because they're like, oh, I've got everything I need from this world boss. I can't do anything else. But normally they'd be like, I would just grind it solo. But if they help lower tiers, they could get some actual proper reward instead of like
It would be nice
getting
if just the
nothing.
honor went up. Like if even if we just got more honor for doing World Boss, like
Yeah,
like a
with lower
substantial
tiers.
amount of honor, then
Because like there's no reason why high tiers should be doing that other than just simply being nice to people.
yeah, I
And
always pay forward,
yeah,
and it's because World Boss sucks.
yeah, but
You
for
know
the
what they really
majority,
got to add?
yeah,
Armory and World Boss. I mean, everyone's thought that already, man. It's
yeah,
just please add it already, please. I hate having to leave in the group where everyone is like way stronger than me, even though
yeah, getting
I'm not
kept.
that weak. And I'm like, finally, I have a team. I can finally farm World Boss. I don't have to keep doing TG. I can do World Boss for a little bit. I'm like, okay, I'll switch this real quick. I'll go come back. It's gone. It's just gone. And it's like, wow, well, when I'm in that position, if someone joins, it's really hard for me to be like, hey, man, I got to kick you, man, and
Yeah,
then have to wait for someone when everyone else in the room is like, "Hey, I'm gonna gore, let's go."
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's understandable. It's just I wish I didn't have to wait for like the victory screen just to do something because sometimes someone will see what I'm using and they'll be like, "Can't," and it's like, "How, dude? Like I've done this solo. Like we can do this." You know what I
mm,
mean? But
Mm.
like a long time ago when the new tier first came out, I was rocking. I think I call it Celeste. It's tier 18 TG. I was rocking it with Spear, and everyone was flaming me for it. But when I ran my speed bait with Spear and using that set, I had like a very, very, very high win rate um, in beef, and it was very solid in a full team. But people would kick me because of it. So I was like, okay, I'll swap. I'll swap. If people were like, oh, we can't, and I'll be like, okay, I'll swap. Because it would mind you, it was all tier 18 TS.
yeah.
So people were very picky with their teams in tier 19 beef. So it's annoying that I can't just swap on the spot. I'll lose it, and it's everyone knows how hard it is to come across a world boss team unless it's like start of the tier. And even then, people plan their world boss teams weeks, sometimes a month or two in advance. Um, they plan their gores, they plan the amount, and it's still hard to find a team even with all these changes just because of that. So anything like armory changing, spending honor on zeals, anything to help you stay in that lobby, to help you like actually see what's going on is awesome. I hate that you have to refresh every 5 seconds. I hate it. I would love it to just be active if possible. I get it why they probably do it. It's probably like too demanding on like phones or something like that. It's too laggy, probably. But if they could, that would be awesome. I hate refreshing. I hate it so much. But I think the biggest problem is World Boss. But to say some good things about it, although I hate the brands and I did go on a tangent about it, I think the changes they're doing are really good. I hate that DPS players are the ones suffering. I really hate that. But I think if they added, like we were talking about earlier, some kind of team, either bonus or nerf towards the familiars or bonus towards the team or something, even if it's just item find, making those players want to play with other players, that would be more beneficial because think about it. I still solo. I hate to admit it, but I still solo beef. I just finished soloing 100 beef right now and I only lost 4 or 5. So
Mm.
so it's like I'm not even max TS. And that's the thing. It's like I'm only doing it because I need the ring and I refresh like crazy and I can't find anybody and I haven't got that ring in over like 4,000 runs, but whatever, right? But but yeah, man, world boss and guilds, that's literally the main problem. I think the shop's headed in the right direction. Maybe some more things for gems.
Yeah.
And other than that, I think the game is super solid. I love it, man. Ever since they had other like some players and stuff like testing stuff, it's been awesome.
Th-
So I'm happy for that.
Just going off the
I
back of that, I was thinking, see if obviously this won't happen. I doubt this will happen. But obviously, if you get a full team, I wonder if they could do it in such a way that the more people in your team there is, the higher chance for loot to drop, like a better chance for each individual person. So if you have so it would stop people from soloing it themselves because they'd be thinking, oh, if I had more of a max team, we would all gain better from it as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe a percentage wise of how many people in the lobby to just doing it solo yourself because that would
I
make no sense.
really, I really don't see them giving us any kind of item find or
Yeah.
anything like that. However, I do genuinely think that we're all onto a good idea here. I think the world boss is definitely the area of the game that needs to be like addressed the most. I think that Congregate have shown, like in my, I'm of the opinion that 9 times out of 10 it's for monetization purposes. But if you take that and put it to one side, I think it's great that Congregate are showing that they keep wanting to like make more content, add more mechanics
Mhm.
to the game. Like it's an ongoing support that you don't see from too many developers.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
World Boss needs to be addressed. And to go back to what I was just saying, like I really don't think we're going to get an item finder or something like that out of it. But as good of an idea as that is, I think it's more realistic, like to have some kind of like debuff, something along those
Yeah.
lines.
Like Torch,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 100%. I don't think we're ever going to get like more independent item find or anything like that. That would be great. Obviously, every single player in the game would say yes to that if they could get it. But I think it's important to recognize what the good idea is, and the good idea is getting people to play together in World Boss more frequently.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I think that maybe there is a potential for us to have some kind of like, the more people there are in the team, the more of a debuff you have against the thing that you're fighting, whatever,
Yeah, like maybe for example, the brain would be weaker the more people they are.
Yeah, 100%. The more people there are, the
Mhm.
less effect that brain has, or something along those lines. Just
Like a
anything
rare
like that.
brain instead of like a
Yeah,
leg brain, go to a rare
you could
brain.
reduce the rarity if you have like a full team. It goes down to rare from legendary. Anything like that would make it just way more feasible, and it would be like getting a benefit, but without us turning around and being like, "Oh, we want item find,"
Yeah.
because that just sounds like we want item find.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. You're right.
So
Fair
there's
play.
That's
something
never
I've
gonna
been
happen.
trying to talk about for a while now. So we know that DPS is dying, but there's a class that has totally died. So there used to be a healer,
Yeah,
a
the
Yeah.
healer.
a person who would revive and heal the team.
Mhm.
So they completely died.
Yeah, there are no healers anymore.
Yeah.
I do feel like they're trying
Yeah.
to bring that back as well. I will say I feel like they're trying to integrate healing into more of the top tier like sets and gameplays now. I think we could see them bringing that back.
They
But
just
the
need to
game is
cleanse
lacking.
everything.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
lacking the diversity. There used to be more builds, and now it's like DPS tank or bait tank. Like that's just all anybody does.
Let's be real. It's just Witcham. Let's
It's
be real.
just now
that's
it's
Witcham
just
Aeneas.
Witch. Now in
that's
Witcham's out, it's all Witcham, and you either go
Witcham
Well,
DPS or
Aeneas.
bait tank. Like,
it just
It's either all ancient, Witcham, or Aeneas, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. They're losing variety, and I feel like they're losing a lot of variety in the name of monetization. And because if you're adding mechanics to your game, like that should always be a good thing, right? Like
yeah.
always.
I would definitely
we
say
had
the healer.
dedicated player. We had dedicated player who used to play only healers, and they were really good at keeping a team alive. But now we don't need them because Witcham never dies.
Yeah.
I mean, having Witcham finally, I think Witcham's a great set. Totally doesn't need nerfs, no. I think it's in a good spot. But I definitely see where you're coming from with healers. I feel like healers are completely left in the dust.
Yeah, they
Uh,
don't exist anymore.
and I just want to quickly
Yeah.
ask, would people want to end it about now? Or how badly do you want to talk about NFTs? Because
I
uh,
have
I
like
know some people are
8
busy.
minutes. I can say
8
something.
minutes.
Like, we don't have to dwell on it too much, but I think it would be remiss of this group of
Yeah.
avid Bit Heroes players and content creators to talk about all
You
of
could,
these
you,
things and even bring it up.
Okay.
can I say one thing real
We
quick?
could at
Because I'm
least
going to
give
be
like
very
a general thought of the NFTs at
Okay.
least.
Going on to World Eater. What did you briefly want to say there?
Okay, so NFTs. Nobody likes them. Let me tell you why. Price. Okay, boom. Pretend the price doesn't exist, right? Obviously, you can't just pretend when you're going to get one, but just pretend, right? Think about the thought of the NFT, what it's supposed to do, what it's doing for you as a player. Obviously, there's bugs. It's on release, right? It's Gen 0 right now, not even Gen 1 yet. It's literally beta kind of stuff. So you could literally share stuff between accounts, right? If you camp in tier 2 with your NFT, $100 NFT, but pretend like it's not $100, the common one. All you got to do is regen. You get about 1,500 to 2,000 plus gems a week that you share with your main account. You could also use your main account to buy Guild Honor to help you farm that little bit extra if you want that competitive edge. Maybe like 5 packs of each PvP and Gauntlet or Trials, whatever it is, and that's not even that much, honestly, if you play actively on your main. And you'll just get more gems out of it. Boom, 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 pumping gems. If you spend that $100, right, you get all of your money back just farming the regen from those gems. And if you get a rare higher, if you're lucky, you get that 4-hour permagore or whatever the heck they did if they ever fix that thing. And it's like, if you just focus on the bottom part of the NFT, which in my opinion should be $50, not 100, and I think the rare should be 100, um, then it's not bad. It really isn't. It really is not bad. But if there is something I do have to say about the NFTs, they're trying to put way too much of a bonus on them compared to the average player, which is what's making people upset because a lot of people are free to play. A lot of people that aren't free to play don't want to put money into another account. They don't have time. And that is why people are upset because obviously the money, right? But
There's
free
so
to
much
plays
wrong with
get
it.
no benefit. I think this is me. I doubt they'd ever do this, but I wish there was some way to have an NFT player as a free to play. I really wish there was, but just because of the price and everything they're like trying to do, promoting it wise, like by saying, "Oh, you get this. Oh, you get this. Oh, you get this." It just seems like there's just so much bad light on it. But it's actually, in my opinion, a really good thing to have. It's just the way they're coming about it is really, really bad. But there are ways to take advantage of it from the cheaper aspect that is actually very, very beneficial to your players if you can get it. But again, to free to plays, it's kind of unfortunate. I kind of
The
hate that
thing
you
is,
guys
there's a
can't get
lot
in.
of ifs and buts there. You know what I mean? And the other thing is I understand exactly why you propose the hypothetical, but it's very easy to just say, let's just pretend for a minute that it doesn't cost real world money, and then we can discuss the pros and cons of the situation, leaving the emotions to one side. Like I get why you offer the hypothetical, but in the real world, it does cost money. It's not a
Yeah.
very good product. It is predatory. And as you pointed out, it's not just the free to play people that aren't necessarily going to want to get involved in this. I think that my issue with the NFTs doesn't exist solely on the fact that the company who have created this game are monetizing said NFTs and trying to make money off of them. You know what I mean? It would be naive of me to not assume that a company who is a business is going to do something or release some content and try and make money off of it. You know what I mean? I would
Yeah.
actually argue that it's not solely the amount of money or even the money being involved that is an issue. This is bad business practices. Not only is it really disconcerting to me personally that Congregate have decided to go forward with the NFT thing after it became so painfully apparent to almost every single person in existence, Messi just scored a goal, let's go. That basically it's a scam and it's not a good idea, right? But like you said, hypothetically, we take the money and we'll put it to one side, and we'll not make the money argument right now because we can talk about that for days. Some people have money, some people don't have money, some people want to spend it, some people don't, right? What blows me away is they're not even good. Like, does anybody else feel that way? They're not even good. The quality is not there. It's one thing that it costs money. It's one thing that this is another area of the game that this business is trying to monetize, right? But it's not even a quality product. And I know that we're very early days, but is there nobody else who's on the same boat as me right now? Like the amount of money that's being asked for said product, and it's not even a quality product. I was blown away when I saw the first generation Zero NFTs. They look terrible, and on
Yeah, they're
top of
kind of
that,
ugly.
they
They
they,
are pretty
they
ugly.
look like a 3-year-old child came up with them. Like genuinely, it looks like somebody's kid drew a picture, and the parents are just pretending to enjoy it because their kid drew it. They look awful. They cost an absurd amount of money, and then to
I agree
top
with that.
all of the, because honestly, who was it I was talking to yesterday? Somebody who's fairly new to my stream came in and was talking to me about the NFTs. They checked online. The £100 NFT has already gone up by $6, right? So the minimum price of the NFTs is increasing as we speak. The most expensive NFT was like $3,800.
Yeah.
That's
What
gross.
the fuck is that? Even people who put money into this game avidly are not going to want to put money into that. Like that is crazy. 3,800, and for what?
Yeah.
And for what?
Consider that's
It's
really
I
not
would
that
love
worth
to
it.
stay and talk about this, but I have to get ready for work.
That's
yeah.
fine.
Enjoy the
I
rest
have to
of the
get ready
podcast,
and
guys.
go as well.
I
Thanks,
appreciate
guys.
your time with us, World, and hope you have a good time at work. Uh,
There's something
so
I've been wanting to talk about, so I'll say it just now.
yep.
So, if you're making a game and you want to monetize it, that's fine. That's totally fine. I have spent money on this game and I think it's fine, but you want more and more people to to use their money and monetize the game. But with NFT, at least 95% of people don't have the crypto wallet.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
95% people can't even help with the monetization of the game. So I don't know what they're doing, but it's really weird to me.
It's weird. It's really weird.
And what
Like
about you?
Bruh.
So carrying on, plan. Sorry.
like I'm already a lazy person. Even I don't have a crypto wallet, so I don't know how it works. I'm not gonna spend $1,000 something that I have no idea how it works.
Fair play. And Hayes, what about yourself?
I don't think it's a worth the product considering that it just looks that it's only cosmetic wise. Why would you spend so much money on something just to make you look nice in a game? Like they should add resources or something that would make it worth your while, because
Is-
just
I
paying
feel
for
like
cosmetics is really not worth it.
I feel like that's the opposite of what would be good for the game. Like I've always said, if it was purely cosmetic, I would have less of an issue with it. If somebody wants to spend $3,800 on something that is entirely aesthetic, that is 100% up to them. I'm not going to judge them for it. I haven't got any complaints to make about it. If they've got $3,800 that they can actually spend on a video game on just a cosmetic and it's not going to affect them negatively, then bravo, good for them. I genuinely think that it's worse practice for the game if there's an incentivized nature behind you spending that money. That's where predatory business practices come into play. If we were not just getting something cosmetic, but there was also a shit ton of materials, cosmetic, like you get cosmetics, you get consumables, you get resources, then I would probably stop playing the game. Because at the end of the day, as much as I love this game, it's already difficult enough for me as it is, as a free to play
Yeah.
player, to compete with people in events who, like, somebody's going to, like, let's say Trials comes up next week and there's going to be a legendary accessory in next week's Trials event, right? For all intents and purposes, I should be competing in that Trials event. But I already know that I don't have nearly enough consumables to win that legendary accessory. I could spend every single thing I have, and 20 minutes before the event's over, somebody can come into the game, they can put real money into the shop, they can buy all of the event push packs, and they can just take the win from me. I've come to terms with that. You know what I mean? Because that's how it is.
Yeah.
If by adding these NFTs, somebody was able to spend $100 to $3,800 and they got some kind of like resources and consumables based off of how much they spent, it would make the game unplayable for someone like me. Genuinely, and I don't mean that to be facetious. I don't mean it to be difficult. I'm not throwing all my toys out of my pram. You know what I mean? I've logged over 2,000 hours on this character alone on this game. I stream Bit Heroes every single day of my life. I love the game, and I love the people I meet playing the game. But if you can spend $3,800 on an NFT and it's not purely cosmetic and you get a bunch of resources with that, then what's the point in me playing the game? Because there's no competition there whatsoever. It's purely pay to win.
Uh, and Chuck, do you have any opinion about this at all? If not, it's totally fine.
No, I'm okay. I'll just stay away.
That's
know-
that's fine.
when Jupiter Mans left the game kind of died.
Pure PMNs, yeah, for sure.
And I have a few notes on it. All emotions aside, kind of thing. Personally, I do actually like the NFT side of things. I mean, fair enough. NFTs in general usually have a bad name for themselves the longer they go on. But like, see if obviously, if I had the liquid, yes, I would buy it. If I could afford that, $100 or whatever it is, yeah, I would definitely get it. But it's just then again, at the moment, can't afford it, so therefore I can't. My biggest gripe with it all, I would say, would be to do with the arenas and runners. There's no way at all that I could be number one in runners because of NFTs. I don't know what multiplier they have when you get it, but the highest I can get, average, I think I'm okay at the game. I have maybe a 33 to 37%, like 37 times multiplier on. The highest I can go, I would say, would be about 2.5 million. That would be the highest I can go, unless I like completely sweat at it. But the like 2.5 million points is nothing compared to anyone with an NFT. Like they're getting easily into like 10 million plus. Like that
I
would be
don't
my
know.
biggest gripe.
I don't know if this is the NFT or if it bug or if
Yeah.
it is a bug.
It could
But
be
the
a
top
glitch.
one, the top one NFT player has 100 million multiplier.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like there's
What's the
zero way.
point?
Yeah. I mean, I can
He
get
he
into
could
top
just
50, which I find very impressive, but it's
he could
difficult.
just do one run and he can just
Boom, first
have
place.
trillions of
Yeah.
scores.
Yeah. That was definitely my biggest gripe of it. But other than that, just I think the point that I'd like to kind of show here is 99% of the community do not have NFTs. Or at least 95, 99. You know what I mean? Most of them don't have it, but the biggest gripe is I want to connect my main account to my runners and my arena. But at the moment, you can only do that with an NFT, which I can understand is very appealing that way because I love bit runners. I want to play bit runners on my main account. Uh, maybe just because it's in beta at the moment, maybe that's the reason why you can't connect your main account. But personally, I would like to use my main account later on when it's not
Maybe.
in beta.
O-
Hopefully,
OX.
yeah,
OX, you
I th-
can't connect your main account. That's the problem.
yeah,
If you have an NFT, you have to start a new account anyway,
yeah,
and that will connect all your accounts. So
yeah,
your Beat Heroes Quest account will not be connected.
yeah. I get that, but that's all that aside. I then again, at the end of the day, people need to also understand that it is artwork. I know it sounds silly because obviously NFT stuff, but at the end of the day, you are paying for someone that's doing artwork. Like I've seen people spend millions on like a portrait with a black dot in the middle or like the letter A, you know, that kind of stuff. So like when you compare money with art, sometimes you can't really put a price on art.
don't think
Uh
you can. I get what you're saying, but I don't think you can compare NFTs to modern art. And I think that modern art is definitely something that's going to divide people's opinions, and like that's fair. That's like a
yeah,
completely different discussion, whether you agree with modern art or not. I don't think they're on the same.
yeah.
I don't think they're even remotely in the same fucking playing field, my guy.
I know.
If
But
you want to spend some
Especially
money
when,
on art,
especially
if you
with the
want to spend
quality.
some money on art, go for it. Why are you going to interact it with the game?
yeah,
I gotta bounce, guys. Take it easy.
that's fine. Thank you very
So
Alright,
much.
dropping by.
Of course,
thanks
man.
for joining, Chuck.
Uh, but that would be the I would say definitely saving grace of it is that at the end of the day it is art no matter what anyone
It's
says.
unique,
Yeah,
yeah. Like I said before, if it was purely aesthetic, I would have less of a problem with it.
yeah. But I think that would be it for today. Uh, and I just yeah, I think that'll be it for today. I'll put it on the ending screen. I know there's quite a few controversial topics as well in there that hopefully uh people understand sometimes could be a potentially good thing because obviously not everyone wants to stay silent on certain topics, but we're trying to be as somewhat respectful to the game as possible. We don't mean any of this in a bad way. Uh, we don't want anyone going after like any dev or anything like that. We want this to be positive feedback on Bit Heroes community and for everyone to be brought together. That is the main idea of this podcast. Uh, as well as giving information that maybe lower levels don't know, or even higher levels. Just bringing everyone together, wanting to have a good time, and hopefully in the next podcast that we do, we can talk about other discussions. But yeah, we just try and keep our emotions, etc., to one side when talking about these points. But I've enjoyed this podcast. Thankful for everyone watching and stream, everyone chatting, everyone in call with us, everyone discussing these somewhat tricky points. Uh, but yeah, thanks, big thanks to Chuck that joined us. Big thanks to Azzy that's joined us, as well as Plan and Hayes and myself, I suppose. But
We forgot
or
World
else Fun
Eater.
was.
World Eater.
Yes, and World Eater as well. Big shout out to him. Appreciate y'all, and I know this has been a long podcast for some of us, almost 2 hours now, when we wanted to keep it to an hour and a half. The NFT part of it was definitely an add on. That was not in our line of questioning.
Take responsibility for that. I think it went quite well.
Uh, but yet again, I'm sure a lot of people would want to hear people's thoughts on that. But yeah, again, I understand if people have NDAs, they can't talk about certain things. That's totally fine. They don't have to. We are aware of that. So thank you very much for everyone watching. Take care. Hope you have a nice day or night. And may Orange Jesus or Orange Satan, shout out to Zulfa for that one, be in your favor. Love y'all. Take care. See you later. Bye bye.